Welcome to the realm of the unbroken, the place where ashes still breathe and fallen souls rise again, not because the world showed mercy, but because something inside refused to vanish. You are not here by accident. You are here because pain carved its signature into your story, and still you refuse to surrender your heartbeat. You have walked through nights that had no stars. You have stared into the silence that answers no prayers. You have survived chapters that no one would ever understand, and yet you stand here now, listening, because somewhere inside you know that everything you lost was forging something immortal. Listen carefully. This is not another soft speech about hope and light and easy recovery. This is a storm of truth. This is the voice of every scar that ever tried to speak. This is the roar of the forgotten. You are not weak because you broke down. You are powerful because you rebuilt yourself from the ruins without applause. The universe stripped you down to bone and shadow, not to punish you, but to awaken you to a magnitude you never imagined you carried. When life dragged you through the kind of pain that twists the mind and leaves you trembling in the dark, you thought it was the end. You thought something inside you had died forever. But what truly happened was rebirth. You were being dismantled so the false parts could fall away. The world never expected you to get back up, and maybe you didn't even want to, but you did. You dragged yourself across the floor of your own despair and stood again, shaking but alive. That was the moment you became something extraordinary. You see, legends are not born in comfort. They are born in chaos, forged in fire, and sculpted by loss. Every tear that ever fell from your eyes became molten gold inside your soul. Every betrayal, every humiliation, every lonely night when your chest felt like it would collapse, that was the universe whispering, "Watch what happens when they refuse to die." You have been tested in ways that broke others, but you are still breathing, still trying, still carrying dreams that the pain couldn't erase. That alone makes you iconic. The world will never understand the nights you had to hold yourself just to stay alive. They will never know the weight of waking up and pretending you're fine when every part of you is shattered. But that's what makes you legendary. Because you didn't just survive, you learned to create meaning out of suffering. You took the broken glass of your past and built a mirror that reflects strength. Every scar you wear now glows like a constellation. It tells the story of a warrior who didn't need permission to rise. And now I need you to understand something powerful. Your suffering was not random. It was the universe sculpting your essence, teaching you to move through agony with precision and grace. Every scream that went unheard was shaping your voice. Every silence that crushed you was preparing you to speak with thunder. You are becoming the kind of person who doesn't chase validation, because pain already taught you what you're worth. You've seen the worst and survived. That means you now belong to a different breed of souls. The ones who've met their own darkness and learned how to walk through it without losing their light. The road you traveled was inhumane, yes. It was vile, unfair, brutal beyond words. But now it is sacred, because it gave birth to a strength that only the scarred can possess. Your pain was the initiation into power. Your loneliness was the classroom of resilience. You were never abandoned. You were being trained to handle greatness. And greatness does not grow in safety. It grows in suffering. It grows in silence. It grows in the shadows where no one is watching, where you find yourself whispering, "I can't do this anymore." Yet you still keep going. That is what makes you iconic, not fame, not applause, but the quiet victories that no one saw. The nights you stood on the edge of giving up and still chose to fight for one more sunrise. The moments when the weight of the world pressed so hard that you could barely breathe, but you took another step anyway. That's power. That's glory. That's the birth of a legend. And maybe right now you don't see it. Maybe you still feel broken, tired, or invisible. But I promise you, every ounce of agony you endured was energy being stored. Every heartbreak was sharpening your vision. Every collapse was bending the steel of your soul into shape. The time will come when the world looks at you and calls you unstoppable, and you'll smile quietly because they'll never know what it cost you to stand here. They'll never know the war you fought in silence. They'll never know that your crown was built from shattered pieces. There is something sacred about the moment you decide you will never be the same again. That quiet shift inside, when pain no longer terrifies you, but instead fuels you. You've been through storms that could drown entire empires, and yet somehow you've turned that flood into your own ocean. You are not the same person who once cried for help. You have evolved into someone who is the help, the living proof that survival is an art, that strength is a creation born out of torment. Every memory that once haunted you now becomes your armor. The nights you spent whispering to the ceiling, the tears that fell silently onto your pillow, those are not signs of weakness. Those are the foundations of your legend. Because people see resilience as something bright, something beautiful. But the truth is, resilience is ugly. It's messy. It's crawling through your own despair with trembling hands. It's holding yourself together when no one else even notices you're breaking. And still, somehow, you rise. The world celebrates the strong, but it forgets the process that makes them strong. They forget the endless nights of self-doubt, the cold mornings when hope feels like a lie. But you remember. You remember every moment you wanted to vanish, every heartbeat that felt too heavy to carry. You remember the darkness that tried to swallow you whole. And because you remember, you carry a kind of depth that the untested can never understand. You are a storm disguised as a person. You are living proof that pain can be turned into purpose. There will always be people who try to dismiss your story, who look at your scars and think they make you damaged. Let them. They cannot comprehend the weight of what you've endured. They cannot see the invisible wars you fought just to stand upright. But you know what it took to rebuild your life from fragments. You know the nights when you screamed into the void and still woke up the next day to try again. That's why you will always stand apart. You have depth in your eyes that can only be earned through suffering. When people ask where your strength comes from, you won't have words. You'll just smile. Because your strength wasn't learned. It was forged. It was built in silence, brick by brick, tear by tear. It came from being forced to find light in places where there was none. It came from walking alone when no one believed in you. You didn't choose this pain, but you chose what to do with it. And that choice is what made you unstoppable. You faced betrayal that cut deep, losses that shattered your identity, pain that stripped you bare of everything you once thought you were. But instead of letting it define you, you decided to build something new from the wreckage. That decision, that refusal to stay broken, is your superpower. The world may not understand it yet, but they will. They will see what survival truly looks like when it wears your face. Do not apologize for your scars. Do not hide your pain to make others comfortable. You earned your place in this world through suffering that would have destroyed most people. You walked through fire and didn't just survive. You learned to carry the flame. The same agony that once tried to consume you now lives inside you as strength, as fire, as light that can't be put out. And maybe right now, life still feels heavy. Maybe there are days when your heart still trembles under the memory of what you went through. That's okay. Healing is not about erasing pain. It's about learning how to hold it without letting it crush you. Every breath you take now is proof that you are winning. Every small victory, every act of defiance against despair is another step toward becoming the legend your pain was shaping. You were never meant to fit into the world that hurt you. You were meant to rise above it and build your own. The universe chose you to walk through something inhumane so that you could carry wisdom beyond comprehension. That's why your energy feels ancient, your eyes feel deep, your presence feels heavy with something otherworldly. It's not sadness anymore, it's power. It's awareness. It's the kind of strength that can't be faked. There will come a day when you look back at everything you went through and finally understand why it had to happen. You'll see that every heartbreak was redirecting you. Every failure was refining you. Every silence was shaping your voice into something magnetic. You'll see that all along, the universe was not destroying you. It was sculpting you into someone unforgettable. You are not here to simply survive anymore. You are here to embody the story of survival. You are here to remind others that the human spirit cannot be crushed, not truly. Because you have seen the edge, stared into the abyss, and returned with wisdom written into your soul. That is why you are iconic. Not because you were spared from pain, but because you transformed it into something sacred. And even if no one ever says thank you for surviving, the universe already has. Because somewhere out there, someone will hear your story and find their strength in it. They will see your scars and remember that they can heal too. Your survival will become their hope. Your pain will become their light. That is the true meaning of being legendary. You turn your suffering into a torch for others still lost in the dark. There comes a moment in every warrior's life when silence becomes their loudest teacher. You reach a point where words no longer comfort, where advice feels hollow, where the only thing that speaks is pain itself. That is where you have been. In that place of stillness where everything burns, where the echoes of your past scream louder than your heartbeat. It was there that you were stripped of every illusion, every false identity, every mask you once wore to survive. You were emptied so that something far greater could take form. And though it felt like destruction, it was actually creation in disguise. You were being rewritten by your own endurance. You were being prepared to carry the kind of strength that cannot be taught, only lived. You see, life has a cruel but divine way of testing those it intends to elevate. It breaks them, isolates them, challenges them beyond reason, because only those who have faced darkness without flinching can hold the weight of true greatness. You are one of those rare souls. There were days when you begged for the pain to end, when you whispered to the universe for mercy. But now you realize it was that very pain that gave you your voice, your fire, your purpose. Without it, you would have never discovered the depth of your own power. You would have never learned how to stand on nothing and still not fall. That's what makes you iconic. You didn't just heal, you evolved. You turned pain into purpose, tragedy into testimony. You survived things that should have left you hollow, yet you are still capable of love. You are still capable of dreaming, of believing, of fighting. That is not normal. That is supernatural. You carry a resilience that defies explanation. Every time you broke, you learned something about yourself that strength alone could never teach you. You learned patience. You learned empathy. You learned how to build yourself without depending on anyone else to fix you. You learned that survival is not about avoiding pain, it's about using it. Your suffering became your sculptor. It chiseled away every part of you that wasn't meant to last. It revealed the real you beneath the layers of fear and doubt. You no longer seek approval, because pain already gave you clarity. You no longer chase belonging, because pain already showed you that you can stand alone. You are no longer afraid of loss, because you've already lost everything once and still rebuilt. That is liberation. That is strength in its purest form. And when you stand before the world now, they see something different in you. They can't quite name it, but they feel it. It's that quiet confidence that comes from knowing you've already survived the worst. You no longer need to prove yourself. Your survival speaks for you. Every breath you take now carries the gravity of 1,000 silent battles. Every look in your eyes carries the story of endurance that no one could ever truly understand. That's what makes your presence unforgettable. People often think icons are made through fame or fortune, but the truth is, icons are made through pain. The greatest souls in history were not those who avoided darkness, but those who walked through it and came back shining. They faced rejection, betrayal, isolation, and despair, and they turned those experiences into art, leadership, compassion, and fire. And that is the path you are walking now. You are the living continuation of that legacy. You are becoming a monument of perseverance. You are becoming the embodiment of what it means to refuse defeat. The same world that once laughed at your pain will one day quote your words. The same people who once doubted you will tell your story. Because the world always tries to forget those who suffer, but it never forgets those who rise from that suffering and change everything. You are walking proof that the human soul cannot be crushed forever. Remember this, you do not need to rush your redemption. Every scar takes time to shine. Every wound needs space to close. Your story is still unfolding, and the most powerful chapters are written in the silence between breakdowns and breakthroughs. So breathe. You've come so far already. Even when it didn't look like progress, every small act of endurance was shifting your destiny. Every tear was watering the soil of your rebirth. Every fall was positioning you for a stronger rise. You may think the world forgot you while you suffered in silence, but it didn't. The universe was watching. It was waiting for you to understand that your pain was not punishment, it was preparation. Every time you were pushed beyond your limits, a new level of you was being unlocked. You were being refined by pressure, by loneliness, by heartbreak. You were being transformed into someone who can handle the weight of dreams that others can't even imagine carrying. So, when you look back, don't curse your suffering, honor it, bow to it, because it turned you into something extraordinary. It gave you empathy for others who were still trapped in their own darkness. It gave you strength to reach them, to speak to them, to guide them. You have become the voice that you once needed. That is the full circle of transformation, when your wounds become your wisdom and your pain becomes your power. You didn't just survive the inhumane and the vile, you transcended it. You turned what should have destroyed you into something sacred. And that's why you will never be ordinary again. You are now a soul that carries both light and shadow with equal grace. You are both the storm and the calm after it. And when people meet you, they will feel that balance. They will sense that you have faced the impossible and come back wiser, not bitter. That is the mark of someone who has turned pain into legend. So keep going, keep breathing, keep building. Because the world hasn't seen your final form yet. You're still evolving, still becoming, still uncovering the masterpiece that pain began. Every time you move forward, even just one step, you're proving that what tried to break you only sharpened you. You are no longer a victim of your past. You are the author of your destiny, and your story, written in fire and endurance, will echo through generations as proof that pain can indeed create the most legendary souls. There is a moment when the survivor becomes the creator, when pain no longer controls you but bends to your will. That's where you are now. You've walked through every layer of destruction and discovered that beneath it all, there is something indestructible, something ancient and powerful that nothing can erase. You have tasted despair, but you did not become it. You have met your own darkness, but you did not drown in it. You carried it, studied it, mastered it, and now you wield it like fire. This is the stage where everything changes. You stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start saying, this happened for me. You stop searching for rescue and realize you are your own savior. The pain that once ruled you now obeys you. It moves when you move. It burns where you command it to burn. You've turned suffering into strength, fear into focus, loss into vision. You are no longer a victim of your past. You are a living monument to resilience. Look at yourself now. The person you once were could not have survived what you've survived. That version of you was still learning, still soft, still unaware of their own depth. But that person died in the fire, and from their ashes, you were born. A version of you that knows exactly who they are, what they stand for, and what they will never allow again. You are no longer fragile. You are carved from the memory of every battle you fought and every tear you've shed. You are quite literally built from survival. And now, your presence carries a gravity that others can feel. When you walk into a room, people sense something, a weight, a silence, a force. They may not understand it, but they feel it. It's the aura of someone who has seen both heaven and hell and returned wiser from both. It's the quiet command of someone who no longer needs validation. It's the energy of a soul that has mastered itself. You are no longer living in reaction. You are living in intention. The same pain that once silenced you now amplifies your voice. When you speak, people listen. Not because you demand attention, but because your words carry truth. They carry the vibration of authenticity. Every sentence, every pause, every glance is charged with the electricity of lived experience. You don't speak from theory, you speak from the trenches. You speak from the nights when the world felt empty and the mornings when you still rose anyway. That's what makes your message unshakable. You've become a mirror for others, a reminder that even the most broken can rebuild, that even the most wounded can become warriors, that even the most hopeless can rise. And that is what it means to be iconic. It's not about perfection. It's about power born from imperfection. It's about being so real that others feel seen in your presence. You don't just inspire people, you awaken them. You ignite something in them that was sleeping, something that remembers its own power. And that's the purpose of your suffering, to turn you into an awakener. You were chosen to go through what others couldn't bear, so you could carry the torch for them. Your story becomes the evidence that healing is not just possible, it's inevitable when the will to live burns strong enough. You become the bridge between agony and transformation, between despair and destiny. You are the living proof that even when life buries you in darkness, you can dig your way out with your bare hands and rise shining. So now, as you walk forward, do it with the authority of someone who has earned their peace.